Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Brian of Always Play Blue, and this series of videos is all about the experiences and the games I've enjoyed in the previous month. So without further ado, let's take a look at July. So first things first, I'm returning to YouTube. I used to do unboxings quite a few years ago. I haven't done any for a while and kind of just fell out of the whole YouTube thing. It wasn't really a big channel in any way whatsoever. I had issues with the equipment I had and it wasn't top notch, but I've been really wanting to get back into it, and I thought the easiest way to do that is filming these little videos first, these little sort of vlog videos, to get back into the habit and getting back into the comfort of being able to film them, being in front of the camera and talking to basically myself, and then just seeing if anyone comes along and watches it. So yeah, this is the start. This is, like I said, I'm going to do monthly videos where I just look back, very similar to what I have on my website already, with my monthly updates that include games that have arrived and new games to the table. It'll be mostly that, but I'll do sort of like 5 subjects every video, talk about the highlights of the previous month, things that have happened, either having visitors over, which we'll talk about in a bit, or going to meetups and conventions and things like that. Hopefully things will grow from that. I'm looking at doing a look back at all the Kickstarter games I've backed over the years as well, and sort of working through those in chronological order, talking about the ones that I kept, the ones that I didn't and such. But for now, I just think that this sort of casual chat variation of a video is just the best place to start, and we'll see how it goes. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that we just recently got our garage converted to a board game room, which is where I am now. We were struggling to store all the games up in our office, so much so that there were walls of games in front of the Calyxes and we'd forget what was behind them. So the space for one is fantastic now. You can see all the games behind me and they're all visible, which is nice. We had a lot of games that were sort of, the boxes were in front and it would block and you'd forget what games were behind them. So being able to see everything now makes choosing games so much easier. But the other reason we really pushed for this game room was to have a better space to have guests over, because our table in the dining room wasn't the best. So it's been really nice, and we've gone all in on our first month of this game room sort of being active, if you will. We had 3 different gaming days with 3 different sets of guests. We had Board Game Meeple and Carry On Gaming over on the first Saturday of the month, so very early there. They were the official first guests of the room. And then 2 weeks later, we had Thoughts of a Meeple and her husband over for even more gaming goodness. And then the day after that, we had our 2 friends from our D&D group over, because they just brought a new game that I knew how to play. So I said, I really want to play that again. I'll teach it to you. And we had a 4.5-hour epic session on that day. So it's been brilliant. It was hard work to get the gaming room done, but it's working perfectly now. And I'm able to do things like I'm doing now. So yay. One milestone I did hit in July was my 200th Blues reviews. These reviews, I started them about at the end of the first year that I was on Instagram, so I think about 2021, and they were just weekly short reviews with a couple of pictures on the games I was liking. They weren't all new releases. I was just picking anything from the shelf and being like, I want to talk about this game and do a little review on it. And it's been fantastic, and I've hit 200. Which I didn't think was going to happen. I thought maybe I'd get tired of doing them, or I don't know. I would just stop for whatever reason. But instead, I've decided to go bigger actually, and I got to 200. Did my last one on Instagram, and I've now switched to my website because I just found the word count on the Instagram too restricting. I was just talking about the game, like how it plays, just describing the method of playing it, and then a small sentence or 2 of why I like it at the end. And I was constantly having to go back and re-edit to cut stuff out because I was getting to the end of the word count and I hadn't finished saying what I wanted to say. And I love talking about board games. It was one of the reasons I wanted to start the channel back up again. So I've expanded out onto my website now for much longer reviews. But like I say, I hit 200 in July and I'm still going. I think at the time I'm recording, I'm on 204 reviews with no plan to stop yet. So it was a good milestone to hit for July. Something fun I did do in July was wake up one morning and decide to play the Oniverse games. Every single one I have in the collection. You can see over my shoulder here. I've got everything from Honorim to Beyond the 2nd edition release. And yeah, I just decided I'm just going to play through and have a solo gaming day, just play through the whole series. So started on the Friday morning after breakfast, played 4 games in a row, broke for lunch, and then finished off the final 4 games in the afternoon. It wasn't particularly successful. I think I only won 2 of the 8 games. Thankfully, my favourite game, Siberian, was one of them. But yeah, I'd like to get stuck into the expansions and modules more. I've not really delved into any of those in any of the games. A lot of it does look quite interesting, what you can add on to the game. But for now, for that day anyway, it was just vanilla Oniverse. But yeah, it was just a lot of fun playing all the games back to back. And finally, we're going to look at my top 5 games of the month of July. They're not my top 5 ranked games. These are sort of my 5 favourite experiences at the board game table in the month of July. I've got my list of 5 games here, so we'll just work our way through them. So first off is the Castles of Burgundy, specifically the deluxe edition that's above my head there. When we had thoughts of a meeple round for a gaming day, I decided it would be nice to show off the deluxe edition of the game. That's what it's for. And it was nice to start the gaming day with a game that we all knew how to play. There was no need to sit and do a teach. They've driven all the way here, and you want to just sort of get going as opposed to sit around and listen to someone explain rules for 20 minutes. So yeah, it was really nice to finally, for our deluxe version as well, to finally get a 4-player game in of that. My number 4 is this big boy, Vantage, new to the collection as well in July. And we played 2 games so far, but the first experience we had of that game, and I kind of knew what to expect. I watched a few videos as much as I could without spoiling too much. But my wife went in completely blind to the game, and it was really nice for me to sit across from her and watch as her experience as a player kind of mirrored her experience as a character, because she didn't really know exactly what she was getting into, and her confidence slowly grew throughout the playthrough. So she knew what the items around her could be used for and how to sort of place dice in a more effective way. But at the same time, her character was becoming more confident surviving the planet and making decisions sort of outside her comfort zone, if you will, trying different things away from her player color. So it was a really nice, I think it's one of those games that you'll never have the same experience as you had the first time playing that game. And we played it since, and I'm happy to say it's a completely different game again, because we played new characters, new landing locations. So it's good that it looks like it's going to have that longevity. But that first experience was something special, as we both kind of feebly explored around both the game and the world at the same time, trying to figure out what was the best thing to do. So that was good. My number 3 is another game that was played on a gaming day. This time, Board Game Meeple brought Men Nefer with him to teach. That is that is a big game, and a big game to teach. And I was a bit not afraid, but big games like that can kind of frazzle my brain a bit. But my wife loves them, and she was very excited to try it. And I have to say, when we finished, even I was like, we need this in our collection now, which we do actually have a copy now. There's a big old game with lots to do, but your actions are very, very simple. I really liked you've got 3 sets of 3 actions, and other than the first turn where you do have to place a worker out to sort of start freeing up that spot, but after that you're choosing either to place a worker, to move a worker along from the sun to the moon track, I think it is, or to bring a tile in ready for your next round. So you only have 9 actions per era, and there's only 3 eras, but there is so much to do on the board, and you can kind of you can almost specialize in something different from every other player in the game, I think. I went heavy in the river on that first game. My wife was building a lot of the pyramid, and by the end of the game, I think we were all cheering her on, like, do another build action, let's get the top put on that, because it doesn't always happen. And it looks gorgeous. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people praising it. I know Cajun Gamer loves it, and Get Into Games loves it as well, and I see these people talking about it, and it was great to finally try it and enjoy it as much as they have. So that was my number 3. Number 2 is a game that praises itself on the box cover, and everyone I've seen play it loves it, and I've been desperately trying to get a copy, and that's Flip 7. and I finally tracked down one of 2 remaining copies in my local Waterstones bookshop. I had £10 voucher, just gathering dust in my pocket. So yeah, we had some friends over for some more like they're sort of casual gamers. They play a lot of the sort of party card games like your Exploding Kittens and things like that. And we spent the night trying a few other games that they weren't really keen on, and Flip 7 was sort of the finale to the evening. And I was really hoping that would sort of lift their spirits, because they weren't really enjoying the games we'd had before. And it was without a doubt one of the best card games I've ever played. So much so that every time we have people over from that point on, we've been like, "Oh, do you want to play Flip 7 now? I'm going to teach you this new card game." It's so simple, and it's so much fun in the trying to calculate if you should push your luck or not, and then seeing other players, get a decent score, and knowing that if you don't go on this round, then you're not going to be able to compete for the win. So you may as well just take the gamble. I love the fact that you don't shuffle the deck, so you're not just card counting for that round, but you're card counting for the entire game until that deck's finished and gets reshuffled. It's a very clever little card game for what is just I think it's a deck of 94 cards in the box, and that's it. But that's become a new introducing people to game from our collection, I think. And the final game, my favourite gameplay of July, was the 4.5 hour game of Nemesis that we had. Our D&D friends that came over, they had just picked up a copy and didn't know how to play it, and I was eager to try it again. I had some all right experiences with the game, but I don't think I'd really seen the game's full potential. I think previously I'd classed it as overhyped and underwhelming, but this this game of Nemesis that we had is easily one of my favourite gaming experiences ever. It was just such chaos. My character just buggered off to the engine end, and we were all doing quite well, avoiding the aliens and trying to get things done. It was clear that some people had their missions picked and were doing things that were strange, but weren't really affecting anyone. I think my wife, she had to take a corpse back. So when we kept begging her to, put the corpse into the device to allow us to find a weakness, we were a bit annoyed that she wouldn't do it, but it wasn't harming us as such. Unfortunately, I chose a bad mission to kill a certain player, and about 2 hours in was when I revealed my big plan, when I tried to blow him out of an airlock. And then obviously he survived it, but then obviously my secret's out there. So then the team turned on me a little bit, started trying to prevent me from doing things, where I then proceeded to try and set off the self-destruct, because I could still win if everyone else died but me. And it looked like I might do it, and then suddenly the guy I was trying to kill, his wife, just went on a absolute crazy bender and ripped through the ship trying to get to me, bringing all the aliens with her. So the guy I was trying to kill died, which is brilliant for my mission. My wife's character then died, and then unfortunately I failed to pass the noise test to get into my escape pod. And then she had an ability, I think she was a pilot, and she had an ability to lock the escape pod. And then it all just went crazy. And I think we brought another gear token out, and that was, we didn't have any spares, so the ship detonated and we all died. And then she revealed that her mission was to come after me, which she had not been even trying to do until I tried to kill her husband. So yeah, it was a 4.5 hours, a Sunday afternoon, 4.5 hour experience, and it was just nothing but non-stop laughs the whole time. And I think it was the game of Nemesis that people talk about and people enjoy, and it wasn't what I'd ever seen before. So while it's not going to hit top 10 favourite games of all time, it's definitely a game that I will jump to play again if someone even suggests that they're bringing it to a meetup, because it showed me how much fun that game can be. But yeah, and that's my top 5 gaming experiences of July. And that was July 2025. Thank you for watching and getting this far. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. I will be doing these updates, these lookbacks every month. Head over to the website. I'm still working on the review section of that and getting that built up. If you head over to alwaysplayblue.com, there's a monthly blog there as well as the reviews that I'm getting up. And check me on Instagram at alwaysplayblue. And I will see you next month.